Okay, but moving, one of the things that you did is you moved over to Africa to do one of your fights in Zaire with Foreman. Was that tied into this whole thing of getting countries together?
I could have fought in Europe and Rome. All the deals were the same, but I decided to go to Zaire because President Mobutu knew that other countries were bidding, and I decided to fight in Zaire because they know nothing about the American black people, and we knew nothing about them. All we heard of the Belgium Congo, and after the Belgians got out, there was no more publicity or tourists in that country. So by us fighting there, Mobutu told me that you've come in here, now the world know we're here. I never heard of Zaire. Did you know about the name Zaire?
Not before I saw the fight.
Ain't that strange? 14 years, here's a country, 22 million brothers, we didn't know they exist.
Is there any truth to the fact that many Africans feel that we are not really brothers?
Well,
or is that a myth?
It's not that, but the publicity and the things that they get that we say makes them think that. Mm-hmm. See, I straightened out a lot of it, but when they find out what we plan to do now, I can see tears have to come from people's eyes when they find out that all these celebrities are getting together to help the brothers. These brothers could have been still on the streets. Where you from, Detroit?
Gary, Indiana.
Gary, Indiana, if they didn't have a break. I could still be in Louisville, Kentucky if I didn't get a break. The mayor, Tom Bradley here, if he didn't get justice or break, he could still be another guy on a job. So what I'm trying to say, now that we're here and time is so short, until we want to make an impact now to set an example. So I think if we can get together and do a few concerts with no choice. I'm here. I paid my own plane for her to help the YMCA. Now look how big this is because my heart opened.
But now those three YMCAs, Ali, those three, let's be realistic now. Those three YMCAs, from the money that they'll get tonight, may or may not keep them totally open.
The idea is not
isn't there? But the idea is still to keep them open. We don't want them to fail. Am I right? You don't want them to go down the drain.
You're right. The idea is to keep them open. But somebody's got to first make a move. If all the people fill that place up at night, we'll keep them open. Mm-hmm. If the people come. So if I come for free, and the Jackson 5 will be there for free,
right.
Flip Wilson be there for free, and we done got as big as you can get in the history of the world. Now, why are you, brother, not going to put a few dollars to help yourselves? So if anything is going to move them, it's us. If anything is going to make them think, it's got to be an impact like this.
And that goes to the heart of the next question, which is that we have probably the highest rate of killing in the black community and all of the other atrocities that you can think of.
That's right.
Now, we're talking about saving 3 YMCAs, which could really help and turn around a lot of young gangs and all that kind of thing. Now, the punchline is this. What can you and other entertainers and even myself and other people who are out there, what can we do in terms of stopping this killing of blacks on killing?
My punchline and answer to you is we can't solve the whole thing. Us few little brothers getting together. Somebody's got to start. We can't solve it, but we just starting. So we can't solve it. We got 27 black people died in Chicago 3 weeks ago in nightclubs. 17 died last week, mainly because the hospitals. We need a hospital on the south side of Chicago. I know there are many things you need in this city. But number one, when we start to unite, other people will see us, and the government will help us, whites will help us. Why help a man and he's building something, he's going to tear it up, and they don't appreciate it?
In other words, you're saying stop begging and start helping each other.
To make a big impact, the names, if I can get 20 of our people together to do a little tour and do a day or two here, day or two there, and make sure all the money is used, not for no individuals, but going right for the cause, the government can check it. This would be a big impact on children, on other entertainers coming along. Others will join in. Because I'm not going to be the champ long, and they're not going to be hit singers long.
Didn't you recently go on record as supporting one of the political candidates, Tom Hayden?
I wrote a poem. I didn't support nobody. Tom Hayden, nobody. I wrote a poem. Jane Fonda's a woman who marches, and she does things I like. She jeopardizes her position. She puts herself on the spot. She came with her husband and wanted me to write a poem about him as elected.
Does this mean that you support Tom Hayden?
No, I don't I don't support no
because politician. I thought maybe when you visited
President... I would support if in this area, if it was anybody, it's the Mayor Bradley. If I support anybody.
Okay, and moving on.
If I had to make a vote, anybody, it's Mayor Bradley.
When you visited President Ford, one of the comments that he made, of course, and the two of you exchanged some views, and you said once that you've been there that you might get accustomed to being there more often. Did that mean that you might be running for political office in the future?
Well, when I got in the White House, all the pictures I saw on the wall, I left one impression. It is the White House. It is the White House. And I would like to come in to integrate it one day, possibly. But if I go for any office, I'm going for the biggest. I'm not going for no governor, no senator, no Congress, no mayor. I'm going for the presidency. I don't know if I'll ever do it, but as of now, it is the White House. Oh, I saw a black cook.
And speaking, before we run out of time here, I got one other question for you, and that's that Gene Tunney, Jack Dempsey, a lot of your comrades who have fought great fights over the years, definitely did not agree with your stand. Mayor Daley obviously didn't, but gave you the key to the city. Do you hold any animosity at all against any of these people who were against you when you were down?
No, I don't. I heard something once that says if you are given a victory and a power over your adversary, then in thankfulness to God for this, forgive them. Mm-hmm. So I forgive them. They know not what they do. And I will say this. They did at the time what they thought was right. And if I condemn them for getting on me because of my religion, my draft police, when they did what they thought was right, although it might be wrong, if I condemned them for doing what they thought was right, that'd be hypocritical at the same time when I expected them to respect me for what I thought was right. It's just too bad they didn't feel the same way about me. I read something once in a holy book about one of God's prophets has been tortured, and somebody says, what would you do? What do you think? Would you do the same thing to them if you could get a loose? He says, just because they're trying to kill me, that don't mean that I should try to kill them. You understand?
Can we clear up one thing, which I hope we'll be able to clear up this time, and that's an article in Playboy magazine, which I'd like for you to clear up once and for all.
A lot of lies before we get started.
There was one point in there. There was one point in there where they quoted you as saying that if you ever saw, and in fact you don't condone any
I know you're talking about kill men and women who go together. No.
Wait a minute, let me get the question out now.
All right.
That if a black man goes out with a white woman or anybody other than a black woman, that you definitely are against that, and that totally all the women in the world probably upset with you. You want to clear that out?
No. Is this show going all over the world?
All over the world.
You bigger than I thought you were. No, man, don't believe that. Some of that stuff is right. Quote? Yes, sir. Some was wrong, some was right. And I don't pay no attention to that stuff. You know, that's just stuff that kind of, these are few people. See, look, Playboy magazine is a book so bad nowadays. If you even show the pictures on this show, you'll lose your show. And if somebody open up them pictures and look at those women and men with no clothes on in the positions they're in, they might write anything.
Okay, speaking of anything here, you guys are really